everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Shreya. I make book videos and I am so excited to do a March TBR. So if you've been following me, you know that I don't really do TBR videos, and so the reason for that, there's a couple. I don't have a ton of books on my physical TBR. I love Libby, I love the library. A girl is on a budget, and so I don't really have like a ton of books to choose from, but also probably the main reason why I don't do TBR videos is because I am picky. Like, I don't want to let a board game or some prompt pick my TBR. I love those videos, but I have books that I want to read, and with the limited time that I have, I'm like, these are the books that I'm reading. I wanted to share with you because I still think it's fun to like see and compare at the end of the month. So I want to show you what books on my physical TBR that I want to read this month. I am in the process of quitting my job, finding a new job, moving, and so I really want to get a ton of books off of my physical TBR before I move. I picked 7 books for my TBR and I'm super excited to share them with you. So the first book that is on my TBR is actually my book club book of the month. I have a book club with a couple of girls that I went to college with, and it's a super fun way to keep in touch and talk about books, and it was my turn to choose the book this month. We always pick 2 books and then we vote amongst us. So the book club book of March is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I don't really know what this is about too much. I do know that I've had this sitting on my shelf for years and years and years. I used to be a huge John Green fan, loved his books. I remember reading Looking for Alaska and being like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. But I haven't read a John Green book in a while. I love his writing. Super unique. But the reason why I picked this one for book club is because he came out with a Vlogbrothers video saying that it's going to be turned into a movie and put onto HBO Max, I believe, and I always need to read the book before the movie comes out. So I don't know a ton about this. I do know that it's different than the rest of his books, like it's very different, and I do know that it has to do with mental health. So I'm gonna go into it a little blind, not really knowing what I'm getting, but it is kind of a short book and I'm very excited to read this. It's been sitting on my shelf for far too long. Okay, the next book that I have on my TBR had been staring at me for months and months, and I was super excited to buy this book, and then I bought it and then never read it. But it really feels like a March fantasy, and that is Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. Literally, how gorgeous, beautiful is this cover. It's so gorgeous. This is a Regency era fantasy set in England, which is genuinely so up my alley. And this is about Theodora, and she has half a soul. Like, she cannot feel embarrassment, and so she does like a ton of crazy things, and I just need to read about her. And this cover is just giving me life. It's giving spring, it's giving March, so I definitely want to read this. The Fun and Turtles are definitely really high up on my list of things to read in March. The next book on my March TBR I'm so excited about, and that is Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. This is the 3rd book in the Boys of Tommen series. I just read it last month, fell in absolutely love, like so in love. Think about the characters every single day. The reason why I put this off and I didn't read it last month is because I'm collecting all of these ombre covers. If you know, the original covers have people on the front, and I hate that like so much. I think it totally takes away from the seriousness and beauty of the story when there's like people on the front. Anyways, so I'm collecting these covers and redeeming 6, which is book number 4, doesn't actually come out in this cover until March 20th. So I didn't want to read this in February, and I know this book is supposed to end on a cliffhanger, so I didn't want to read this book, be so invested, and then just cave and get the book with the people on the cover. So I am going to read this in March, probably around like the 2nd to 3rd week in March, so that I will be ready and can get Redeeming 6 right when it comes out. But this is Joey and Aoife's story. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. And these books are super serious, and just like seeing Joey and the things that he went through in the first 2 books, I just know this is going to be soul crushing and heartbreaking, but I'm ready for it. I love those types of books, and I'm just so excited to read this in March. Okay, the next book is, I think it's a fantasy, I'm not super sure. So this is House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. My mother brought this when we were in England a couple of years ago, and I never really was super intrigued by it or anything. I think I saw a TikTok, and then I walked into my parents' room and I'm like, oh my god, I've seen that book on social media. My mom was like, yeah, I bought it years ago. So this is a really cool cover. I'm not sure what this is about. All of the reviews and even the back said that it is chilling and haunting and just a creepy book. And I read Juniper and Thorn last month and I really did love the creepiness of it. Hopefully this is kind of up that alley. This is about a group of sisters. There's 12 of them, but they think that they're cursed because they keep on dying. I think she tried to break the curse. I don't know. But it sounds super interesting and dark, and I am really in the mood for something like this right now. I don't know why. I don't know what that says about me, but I haven't heard a ton of people read it or talk about it, so I'll let you know in my March reading wrap up at the end of the month if it was any good. So this one I am so excited about. I'm excited about all of these. Okay, next I have two thrillers that my friend bought for me actually last year, but I have never gotten to, and now that I'm like in the process of finding a place to move to, I'm like, I need to get these off of my physical TBR. So the first one is No Exit by Taylor Adams. I do know that Destiny Sidwell read this. I know that Sarah Caroli recently read this, and I've had it sitting on my shelf for around a year, so I need to read this. I know this is a thriller. There's a movie on Hulu, which is very interesting, so I would love to read the book and watch the movie. So this is about a girl who gets stuck in a blizzard and things go wrong, and she makes a horrifying discovery, whatever that means. I'm very picky about my thrillers. Like, yes, I like to be entertained, but I like to be shocked at the end. I don't know, I just have a lot of criteria for my thrillers, so I'm really interested to see if this is actually a good thriller. So I'll keep you updated. I don't know why I haven't read this. It's like a pretty short read, like 300 pages. That's like a pretty average book in my opinion, so I need to get on it and read this book. The next thriller that I have is Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. I read Rock, Paper, Scissors by her, and I did really enjoy that. I haven't heard a ton about Sometimes I Lie, but basically this is about a girl, Amber, who wakes up in a hospital room and doesn't remember anything, and then slowly she starts to remember like what happened to her, and it is crazy and not good, and I think that will be fun for me to read about. So I definitely want to read this. It's like these two little thriller books have been on my cart, my TBR cart, for so long, and I think that when books like stay there staring at you for so long, at some point you're like, I'm probably not gonna read it, but I am determined to get through the books on my cart, so definitely need to read this. Okay, next I have this book that I got, and it is Homebody. I do love her poetry. I do own her other two books, and I got this because I saw it at my local bookstore, and it is gorgeous. Literally, look how gorgeous that is. But it is a poetry book. I think that spring is a great season for poetry and for getting yourself into poetry, and I definitely do want to read this. I am weird and I do like to sit down and actually read poetry books through. I don't know if I'm going to end up reading this book, honestly, because I do feel a little weird about reading poetry, especially I know that hers is super personal and just like really personal about traumatic things that have happened to her. But I just do love the way that people use words, especially poetry, and just weave words into making it something super amazing. So this one is definitely on my list for March. And then the last book on my TBR is this Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book in the Infernal Devices. I did read the first one. What is the first one called? I don't know. Clockwork Princess, I don't know, Clockwork Angel, I don't know. I did read it in January. I gave it 3 stars. It was like an okay fantasy, and obviously it wasn't good enough for me to like want to go into the second one right away, which is very unlike me because I usually want to like read the entire series through and not like slowly work my way through it. But I know that I've heard so many people tell me that it gets way better as we go through it, so I'm going to trust them and hopefully I get to it. I just know that if there's one book on this TBR that I don't get to, it's going to be this one. But I want to want to do it. There's only 2 more books. I read the first one. The first one was good. Like, it was enjoyable, but it wasn't like, oh my god, that was amazing. I can read it. I can do it. But do I want to? I don't know. And I know the first one took me so long to get through. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because I know so many people love it. So I definitely want to get through it. And it definitely feels like a winter fantasy. Alright guys, that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what's on your March TBR. And be sure to subscribe and thumbs up. And I'll see you next time. Bye.